You know, when we get sick, it's so easy to feel anxious, frustrated, like our life has just been put on hold. We've all been there, right? It's a totally universal experience. But what if we could look at it from a completely different angle? Today, we're going to dive into a really fascinating text that completely reframes the whole experience of hardship, suggesting there's a much deeper meaning to be found in it. So, this is the big central question. And yeah, I know it sounds a little crazy. This question our source material asks us to consider turns everything we think we know on its head. It invites us to explore this wild idea that maybe, just maybe, sickness isn't the problem, but a solution to a deeper issue we might not even know we have. So here's the game plan for how we're going to walk through this radical idea. We'll start by acknowledging the pain, of course. Then we'll explore how illness can be seen as a cure, a teacher, and, get this, even a gift. We'll also look at the super practical tool of patience before we uncover what the text calls the ultimate remedy. Okay, first things first. Let's be real, the source totally gets that being sick is awful. Feeling impatient, worried, distressed, that's a completely natural reaction. Nobody enjoys being in pain or feeling like their life is just completely disrupted. That's the starting point. This is the feeling, isn't it? That our time, our very life is just slipping away, being wasted. But right away, the text challenges this. It suggests that this period isn't a waste at all. In fact, it argues that these moments could actually be the most productive, most valuable times of our entire lives. So let's get into the first major idea, this concept of illness as a type of remedy. It sounds pretty strange, I get it, but the logic behind it is actually really compelling when you break it down. This quote really just gets right to the heart of it all. The text isn't seeing sickness as the problem. Instead, it's saying that sickness is the cure for a different, much deeper problem. A life that's being lived, kind of mindlessly, without real purpose. Now, the text uses this really cool analogy. Think of your life like it's money in the bank, your capital. If you just let it sit there during times of ease and good health, it doesn't really grow. But illness, it argues, is like a forced investment. It makes you stop, reflect, and actually use that time, turning it into something way more valuable for your inner spiritual life. It actually gives your life more value by stopping it from just flying by without you even noticing. And this idea just keeps building. So if illness is a cure, then the pain that comes with it, well, that acts as a teacher, or as the source calls it, an admonishing guide, kind of like a tough love coach. And check out this metric. This is pretty stunning. The source claims that for someone who can just endure their sickness with patience, the spiritual value of that time is magnified like a lot. 1 single minute of patient suffering could be equal to an entire hour of active worship. It completely transforms just lying there and enduring it into something profoundly active and spiritual. And this comparison here just makes that lesson crystal clear. A life of nonstop health can make us kind of forget the big picture, right? We forget we're not going to live forever. Illness, on the other hand, is a serious wake-up call. It forces you to look at your own fragility and think about your real purpose, turning what could be wasted time into some serious preparation and understanding. Here's another really powerful analogy from the source. It suggests our bodies aren't really our property. We're more like a model wearing this priceless, beautiful garment, and the creator is the artist. Now, the artist cuts and alters and changes the garment to show off different parts of his incredible skill. The model, who's getting paid for their time, can't really complain, right? Well, in the same way, our changing states of health and sickness are meant to display different divine qualities, like the healer, for example. Okay, so this might be the most challenging idea of them all. The source goes beyond illness being a cure or a teacher and actually frames it as a divine bounty. Yep, a gift. So what on earth are these hidden gifts? Well, the text lists a few. It says sickness acts like soap, washing you clean spiritually. It forces you to truly appreciate good health when it comes back. It makes you realize your own weakness, which helps you stay humble. It deepens your connection to the people who care for you. And finally, by making you feel truly powerless, it makes your prayers so much more heartfelt and sincere. So, if we can kind of get on board with these ideas, how do we actually endure the hardship day to day? Well, the text offers a very practical, very real tool: understanding and using patience in the right way. The logic here is actually super simple, but it's really profound. Impatience is basically irrational. Why? Because you're worrying about two things that don't even exist right now. The pain you felt yesterday, it's gone.
All that's left is the spiritual reward for getting through it. And the pain you might feel tomorrow, it hasn't even arrived yet. The only real pain is the pain of this very second.
So here's the crucial point. Stop wasting your limited supply of patience by worrying about the past or freaking out about the future. Concentrate all of your strength, all of that power of patience, on this very moment. That's the only place it's needed. And when you focus it right there, you might just find it's enough to get you through.
And now we come to the final and most important point in the whole text. All of these other remedies, seeing illness as a cure, a teacher, a gift, and using patience, they all point to one single ultimate medicine. See, the source argues that our real suffering doesn't come from the physical pain itself. That's just a symptom. The real suffering comes from the deep spiritual wounds that the illness digs up and exposes. Our deep-seated fear of death, of being separated from the people we love, and our attachment to a world that we know, deep down, we can't stay in forever. And so the ultimate remedy is what's called the medicine of belief. This is all about a spiritual realignment. It means healing those deeper internal wounds through things like repentance, prayer, and just reconnecting with your true purpose. This medicine reframes everything, even death itself. It's no longer this terrifying end, but instead it's seen as a peaceful release from worldly duties and a joyful reunion with those who've gone before us. And all of this leaves us with one final thought. This text gives us a really powerful way to find meaning in sickness. But you can apply this principle to so much more, right? So the real question for all of us, whether we're sick or healthy, is this: how can we look at the inevitable challenges in our own lives, not as curses, but as amazing opportunities for growth, for understanding, and for finding a much, much deeper purpose?